I used to think I had fully surrendered to God. Like, I would just pray and ask God, Lord, use me, send me, I'm available, you know. But one day I realized that I actually had conditions to those prayers. As long as it did not disrupt my plans, as long as it did not cost me my comfort, as long as it still made sense to me. But then I remembered Jonah, he was called by God and he went the opposite way. And it was not because he did not believe, but because obedience was inconvenience for him. So I realized probably I was no different from Jonah because I was giving God conditions. I was not saying it out loud, but I had them in my mind. Yeah. I'm like, if God says this, no, definitely not. God will understand. And when God interrupts our comforts, it's rarely a peaceful transition. It's always to send us out for purpose, and it's always hard. So that's what we're talking about. So in this episode, it's not just about Jonah. It's about us, about me and you. When and how we say yes. Sometimes we say yes with just our mouth, and it's hard to say yes with our lives. But at the end, we have to actually say yes with our lives. We have to surrender our dreams, our goals, our timelines, everything. But we also have to remember that we need to also surrender our comfort. A lot of us, we are walking in direction of God's dream, God's plan, God's purpose, but there's still that comfort that we are not surrendering to God. And it's very, very dangerous because the real breakthrough most times begins after the end of the comfort zone. Moses had to leave where he was with his father-in-law. He had to travel down to Egypt. That was where his ministry started. Jonah's ministry also started when he went to Nineveh. Though these people have been doing other amazing things before then, but we were only aware of that breakthrough from that moment where they stepped out of their comfort zone. So today on Colors and Lights, we'll be talking about what it really means to surrender, not just the messy parts or the easy parts, but even the good, the warm, and the soft places that we don't let go of. You see, this one is for anyone holding onto that warmed chair while you're still asking God for purpose. You sat there for so long, you're so comfortable. When you sit on a warm space, when you sit on a space, on a seat, and you warm the chair up, and probably somebody asks you to shift. And when you are shifting to on that seat, the next place is cold. You feel very uncomfortable. Yeah, that feeling. That's exactly what we're talking about. So, hey guys, welcome back to Colors and Lights. And this is the podcast where we explore life through the different and many shades, and we try as much as possible to find light. And when I mean light, I mean God. God is the one that gives, the beautiful colors to our life. Is the one that, brings that light, illuminates our path. So that is the exact light I'm talking about. I am your host, I'm Ebulu Olufayo, and I'm a nursing student, creative, and I'm a firm believer that God's light is available for us at every stage of our lives. So if you are new here, welcome to the family, welcome to the community, welcome, and I'm so glad to have you here. A big shout out to everyone who listened to our last week's episode. Thank you so much. I'm very, very, very grateful. It's been amazing having you guys here. Media research was beautiful. I got a lot of feedbacks, and I even got more feedbacks from previous episodes, and it was also amazing. Like, wow, thank you so much. If you are new here, don't forget to rate the podcast, subscribe, drop a comment, and make sure you join the podcast community. The link is available at the description, and also follow us on Instagram. We're planning to launch our community once we hit 100 members on WhatsApp, on our WhatsApp community. So make sure you join and be part of the first 100. Thank you so much. So let's be sincere and honest. I know you said this one time or another, or in fact you mentioned it in a song. This popular song, I surrender all unto Jesus. That particular song, yeah. But have you actually surrendered all? That's the question. We say it all the time that Lord, I surrender all. we have it at the back of our mind that everything we are, everything we own, everything is unto Christ and Christ alone. But really, is it? Are you sure? Okay. We surrender the things that have failed. We surrender the goals that we don't really care about so much, or the ones that we are not so comfortable about, or the ones we think we actually need God in. But you see, the ones that we've built, the ones that we've strategically built over time, the ones that have worked, we find it hard to let go and let God in those aspects of our life. So if you are being sincere, we really don't want to surrender comfort. We love what we know. We love ease. We love the predictability. We love the things that actually work out. But God often calls us to leave the familiar. And it's not to punish us in any way, but it's actually to make us grow. For us to be able to see Him more. For us to be able to dwell more in His purpose for our lives. Now, Jonah's story is one that I actually love a lot. And while we're learning about it in Sunday school when we're young, I'm sure we all criticized Jonah. But let's not lie, most of us, we are Jonahs now. Sincerely, in one way or the other, we are Jonahs now. But we all criticized him when we were young. But as we grew up, I actually found out that this obedience thing actually seems a bit difficult. Even as easy as it is, when God says go, God means go. And there's a track record that God does perfectly well in, sponsoring His own. But at the same time, you still want to find logic in it. You understand? So God told Jonah should go to Nineveh. But you know what? Jonah did not. He ran. And it was not because he did not love God. It was because Nineveh was uncomfortable for him. So it did not make sense to him. It was not safe. And what happened after then? God had to, reroute him with the storm, the fish. Jonah had to learn, through the hard way. So comfort is not what's going to carry your calling. Over time, you're going to realize that you have to leave your comfort zone to be able to completely establish your purpose and your calling. So if you are wondering why everything still feels, blurry, and you've not really gained clarity, probably go back to God and ask God for an instruction. Ask God for a go ahead regarding something, and embrace complete obedience. Obey Him completely. Obey Him to the latter. Don't leave out any part. If God tells you to do it this way, then you should definitely do it that way. So surrendering is somewhat simple as much as it is hard. The instructions are always plain. The instructions are always simple. That's just it. The instructions don't usually have, you can try this, you might leave this. The instructions are always clear. When God told Moses to leave his family and his father-in-law and just go to Egypt, it was clear. God told him to just up and leave. So all he had to do is just to let go and let God. The instructions are always clear. Check through the different stories in the Bible. The instructions are always clear. When God told Abraham to sacrifice Isaac, it was clear. It was very, very clear. It was scary, but sincerely, it was clear. Just sacrifice your firstborn. Sacrifice Isaac. That's just it. And over time, we start realizing that most of these things, they sound like simple instructions, but the depth of it is actually very, very hard. They are simple and clear instructions. When it's time for you to actually carry it out, that's when you realize that you cannot do it with your own strength. All these people that were able to obey God, completely, they are the ones that have actually surrendered to God's leading over time. They are the ones that, they've realized that they don't have any strength of their own. They don't have any life of their own except through Christ. So, and one thing I want you to remember today is 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. I'll be reading from the King James Version. I like the King James Version so much. So the King James Version says, and he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities than the power of Christ, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. So the power of Christ actually follows us. The strength of Christ goes along with us. The I don't know how to explain the power, the strength, the authority of Christ is ours to be able to make use of, to be able to live with, but at the same time we have to surrender. So we can't call on the power of our own, we can't rely on the power of our own and still expect God to show up for us like we are his children, like we are his babies. We need to be helplessly at his feet. We need to be helplessly ready to serve and obey him for him to be able to actually grant us that strength. So I hope you're able to reflect and think about if you've actually surrendered. So maybe it's not the goal that you've put together and everything, maybe it's really not how you've been living your life, but actually what God has called you to do. Have you submitted it to him? God would have shown you part of what you should do. Okay, do this like this, do this like that. But if you are not taking any step outside of that thing to be able to probably grant you access to visibility, and maybe God is not calling you to do that now. You feel because God has granted you this purpose to work on it, you are looking for life and human strategies to be able to grow it. Don't help God grow his purpose. It is his own. Let him teach you how to do it. Follow his lead. He's going to tell you how you have to do it. Okay, so you just have to surrender, give everything to God. So this week I want you to ask yourself, what part of my life am I still trying to control? What part of your life are you still trying to be a boss over? What part of your life do you think you see to be so perfect, and you think you are trying to have control over it, you are trying to do it, and you are like, oh, I'm doing it so well. Go back to God and be sure that God is actually leading you in that part of your life. And what's that one thing that feels too comfortable to surrender? Anything that you have in your life presently, and if God tells you that you should live where you are and you can't do it, you have to recheck. If God tells you right now that you should live wherever you are, drop your job, drop your career, drop all your money, drop your school, anything you are doing, and just pack your bags and just leave, what will you do? Maybe you should just leave your state and go to unfaraway land to go and preach the gospel, to become a missionary. What are you going to do? I do think of it, and sincerely it scares me, but one thing that always refreshes my soul is the story of our fathers past. I'll just go through their stories, and I'm like, all these people did it and God was still with them. They survived. God stayed with them. So it's not going to get to my own head, and it's not going to be different, because God is still God. God never changes. That's just it. So, and also make sure you ask yourself that hope you're not just saying yes with your mouth or your Christianic mindset, but you're also saying yes with your actions. So you might have it in mind that yes, I will be able to do anything God wants me to do. Yes, I'm able to surrender. Yes, I'm able to obey. But that might just be your mind or your Christian inclination speaking. That might not actually be reflecting in your actions. So check again and be sure that your actions are actually reflecting that you are surrendering to Christ, you are obeying him fully, and you are ready to do whatever he tells you to do. Okay? So if today's episode stirred something in you, take a moment to pause and pray. Ask God for the strength, and ask God to give you clarity in everything that you are doing. If you are making decisions, if you are carrying out anything, ask God to give you clarity. You are not just doing anything by your own strength or by your own mind, but you are doing it by the Spirit, so you don't have wasted effort. You don't just go ahead and build what God has not ordained, but instead you do it according to God's obedience and God's structure. That's when it actually flourishes and it actually matters. Ask God to help you to surrender, even in things that feels good and that feels safe, especially the things that feel comfortable. Ask God to help you to surrender. So God does not call you to easy, he calls you to purpose. So, and the easy ones are the ones that actually disguise as God's purpose most of the time. Some are, while some are not. So sometimes your purpose is going to start when you actually leave your comfort zone and you go through the pain, you go through the struggles to be able to be refined. Our God is a refining fire. It's both a consuming and a refining fire. So this is the time for you to actually unlock that refining part of God. So let Him be able to refine you. If you are broken down completely by God, total obedience, complete obedience would not be a problem for you. You'll be able to do it. So that will be all for today's episode. Thank you so much for sticking through. Thank you for coming along, and I hope to see you in our next episode on Thursday. Make sure you rate this podcast, share with someone who also needs to hear this, subscribe and leave a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? What part of your life do you think you're actually trying to let go to God right now? Let's just hear from you. And don't forget to also join our community on WhatsApp. We are launching soon and would so much love to have you. Follow us on Instagram as well, Colors and Light Podcast. So till next week Thursday, keep embracing those different shades that God is throwing, that life is throwing rather, and make sure you always remember the light. Always remember God in the middle of it all. Okay? Have a beautiful week ahead. Thank you. Bye.